Hi guys, hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm super happy and excited to have you here as always. Well, I think I should go straight to the point. For those who have been here for quite some time, know that I'm navigating my 20s, and yeah, it's obvious you can't navigate your 20s on your own. Okay, I'm navigating my 20s, I'm in my 20s, but like I don't have everything figured out. I'm also a work in progress, and there are certain things that I've learned, not learning, but that I've realized. I feel like adulthood is about realizing a lot of things. There are certain things that I've realized in my life that are happening in my life, not because of my current situation or like what I'm going through now, but because of the beliefs I've put in my head, the things I've had to settle with in my mind that are causing me a lot of stress, a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of that bring a lot of comparison into my life and all that. And it has now come to my attention that if I had not like focused on those things or settled with them, by now I would have been really so far like in my life and all that. Well, in this video I want to share 5 toxic things that I'm currently unlearning. You know how every time it's about like in your 20s things you must learn, in your 20s you should have this skill, in your 20s you should do this, you should have a skill, you should take care, like it's a lot about, they always talk about a lot of things that we're supposed to learn this, learn that, learn this, but no one reminds us about the things we are supposed to unlearn. And when the learning is too much, yet we are not solving the things that we were supposed to handle at first, it messes up everything. Like everything gets so messy because the things we are learning are not settling in the right places, because the right places where they have to settle, it's already a mess. Well, these are the 5 toxic, yeah, they are really toxic because they've brought a lot of stress in and confusion in my life that I just wish I knew earlier, but better late than never. Number 1, life has a timeline. I don't know how our parents did it those days, because someone gets done with school, after school they get their first job, after getting their job they get married, after getting married they buy their first house, then they buy their first car. Like I grew up thinking that's it, like that's the world, that's life, that's how it's supposed to be. But then the things are different. So I've really struggled to connect the dots there, because at a certain point I felt like at 24 I should have my first car, at 23 I would have bought my first like estate whatsoever, and the things are different. So me trying to figure out the dots, and when things were not adding up, I ended up like getting a lot of stress, a lot of confusion, a lot of like I ended up comparing myself to others, and frustration and questioning God. Why aren't things happening like this? Why isn't it happening like this is how it has to happen? So but I have come, and I think I'm coming to a point, I am unlearning that we all have different timelines. Someone can achieve all that they want by 25, or others can achieve it when they're in their 30s or 50s. And it has, like, I now get it better that doesn't matter, but what matters is when you have achieved it either way, whether at 50 or 30. So me being there, always looking at the clock, oh my goodness, now I have to do this, now by now, like there's somewhere it creates a lot of pressure, a lot of confusion. And even it doesn't just end on the confusion, like you really end up taking wrong decisions just to meet the timeline you created for yourself, forgetting that it's God who puts all these things in place. It's God who has, like, actually already knows our destiny. And maybe the one thing that I am concluding on the timeline, us having a different timeline, is to ask God that the plans we have put in our heads or in our minds or in our hearts align with what He already has for us. Or we ask Him that, yes, it's obvious His plans are the best, but we ask Him that our plans align with His. Next toxic thing that I'm really unlearning is this concept of you can't change who you are. You can't change who you are. But you can actually change who you are. And I've seen that like happen in my life. It's actually happening in my life. The person I was like 5 years back, or even a year ago, is different from the person I am now. The person I was years back was a bit so, like, can I say reserved? Even when I had the best ideas in my head, even when I felt like I have something creative I could create, just now I would be quiet. I would be quiet. I was like, now what if they judge me? What if? I had a lot of what ifs. I even, I've ever been there and you feel like you have potential to do something, like you actually feel it and you know you can do it, but I don't know whether it was even just fear. I don't know, I was just not confident. But when we are talking about growth, like, change comes with growth. There is no way you can be in the same position from, I feel like still there is something that always has to change. I remember the days, I don't feel like I've ever been shy, me personally, but people who have been around are like, oh, you're shy, you can't do this, you can't do that. And now that I'm looking forward, like I'm looking towards the person I want to become, there is no way. The person I see myself, I don't see myself in a shell. So it's obvious that I have to change. There is nothing that I'm like this. I don't know whether this is making sense. When you picture yourself and then you see the person you want to become, the person you admire to become, there is no way you're going to settle for you like that. Like, for you like that. You don't keep time. For you like that, you're always shabby. For you like that, you don't have principles. For you're like that, you are sleepy head. But when you look at the person you want to become, the person you want to become keeps time, shows up decently dressed and presentable, speaks in a way that makes everyone quiet and listen. So yeah, when I see that concept of I am like that, it's another thing that I'm unlearning in my life. I'm not settling for less, because the person I see myself becoming, like, they don't settle for less. They go for everything that God has blessed them with, everything that God has put available on this earth for them. They go for everything. So if you're there and that's the concept, and if that's the concept you're carrying in your head, they tell you that maybe you, which example can I give? Or you're fond of lying, and then you're like, me, I'm like that. But when you look in front and then you see the person you want to become, are they liars? Let's leave the lying thing. Let me talk about honesty. When you see the person you want to become, maybe a CEO of a big company, and then you're like, me, I'm like that. I always lie, I always rob people's money, then you're failing the person you want to become. So I've refused to settle with the thing that I'm like that. And that's why I motivate myself every day to work on my bad manners. Because I also know, like, I'm a work in progress. I'm just figuring out things here and there. Yeah, I push myself to work on my bad manners, and I ask God to, what's the word? Yeah, I ask God to search my heart and take away all that is not important for His kids. This one is so personal. It's beyond personal. Another thing that I'm unlearning, another toxic thing that I'm unlearning, is me having to seek everyone's validation. That one hit me deep, like not even just on the surface, like even in the bones in my heart. Like there is someone you always used to ask people. Okay, this one hit me. Like everything concerning my life, I actually used to consult someone in a way of like, do you think this is, even when I know I've done some good work, I always had to seek validation. It's not even just about seeking validation. Let me say I've left my room and I'm all dressed up and I feel smart, but if I just reach at the door outside there and someone tells me you're not smart, trust me, I would go back and change the clothes just so that I feel validated or what. Or if I moved on the way and then someone called me ugly, or someone said my cheeks are big, oh, it's not that my whole day would be spoiled. It would make me feel not worthy, not any bad comment I got from people, or actually not even bad comment, even the good comments. Like I always sought for validation, and I thank God that I am unlearning that. And lately I'm really so, I don't want to say I'm confident in myself, but I thank God for that confidence, because now I don't feel like there is any word that someone can say and I feel shaken or I get worried, or not because they have said it all, not because they are, no, it's not that they have said it all, but because I feel like in me there is something great. I don't know how to say this. I feel like in me there is something great that is beyond all what they can say, what they have said, what they will say. Like, okay, now I'm more confident than then, because if someone just said a bad word about me, my whole life would be sinking there and then. I would really want that soil, the ground, to swallow me there and then. So I've really, that's one of the things that have kept me behind for long, because of me wanting to seek validation, wanting to be affirmed every time. Yeah, wanting to be affirmed every time. The more you depend on people to validate you, to affirm you, it's the more you're going to hurt yourself. Just stick on what God says about you, because when you check the Bible, He says you are wonderfully made. So why are you seeking out for someone to remind you how beautiful you are? Why are you waiting for someone to remind you, not even remind you, to tell you that you're bright? So seeking validation, that's a no zone for me. I no longer do that. I don't really dwell on that anymore. Another thing I'm learning is being busy is equal to being valuable. Whew, guys, let me first give you a story. I remember when, was it after campus? Yeah, it was after campus. It was after campus, after university, and I was still figuring out certain things, and I was not like actually employed. So I was still figuring out certain things that I was working on, plus also doing my small soap business. But just because I overused to do everything from home and I didn't have a specific, let me say, workplace, like where someone employs me, oh my goodness, I don't know whether in front of the people I know, I lost value. That's it. In front of the people I know, I lost value because they looked at me as just being useless. But the funny thing is that I didn't beg anyone for anything or give me money or no, I didn't. I was working on myself. I was doing certain things that I had to do at that time in that period. But there is somewhere I got a funny I don't know whether to call it funny eye. Like people look at you like you're useless if you're not busy. People look at, if you don't have now, like now when you get done with school, and then your friends are like, where do you work? I work at this place, I work in this company. And for you, you don't know how to explain to them that you're actually self-employed and other things you don't want to talk about because not everything has to be said. There is someone, they look at you as you're useless. Oh my goodness. That also hit me deep. I remember that one time I was talking to a friend, and yeah, I'd not yet gotten like a job, company job, something of that kind. And then when we were talking, honestly, I feel like he used very heavy words. That at your age, you're supposed to be doing this. At your age, people of your age are already doing this, and for you, you're just there at home, you're doing nothing. Oh my goodness, that was rude. I'm not trying to play victim, but that was really rude. I felt like he didn't give me space to explain myself. Anyway, it's not that he needed the explanation or it was worth it there, but how about we don't judge people? I even don't know where this is coming from, but it would be better if we don't judge people and understand that being busy, that is not the only thing that makes someone valuable. Even people resting, you taking your break, you're still valuable. But because we are in an era of hustle, 24/7 hustle, so if someone sees you and now you're not working, they're like, taina mlimu oyaliao. Why am I even using Luganda? That one is just idle. They have nothing to do. So I think it's the culture that has also created that if you're not working, you're just useless. If you have no job, if you're not working in one of the companies, you're useless, you're not valuable. So that's another thing that I'm learning, that still our paths are different. Yeah, our paths are different. That's why we have musicians, we have doctors, we have nurses, so it's not all about people always. Actually, we also have queens and kings who you don't really see in the hustle. So does that make them not valuable? So that's another thing that I'm unlearning, that it's okay for me to take a break, that it's okay for me to rest. Not every time hustle. No, things are not like that. Lastly but not least, is that how they say it? Another thing that I'm actually unlearning is that mistakes does not equal to failure. It's not that every time you mess up, you've already failed and you're done. Yeah. So for anyone out there who is watching me, please give it a try. I feel like mistakes show that you tried, that at least you did something. You're not just there waiting for things to happen. You went outside there, you tried out that small business, you tried out applying for that job, you tried, than you just being there. And yeah, mistakes doesn't mean that you failed, it means that you tried. And then how will you fail? Failing is, that's why they say once you give up, there is no hope. Meaning, if you've done nothing about it, that's the real failure. That's when you failed. But a mistake only happens when you've tried and things just didn't go well. And the other thing I'm appreciating about my mistakes, if someone asked me whether I'm proud of the mistakes that I've done in my life, I would not say I have no regret. That's it. I don't have any regret, because I left my comfort zone and I tried out something. I left my comfort zone and I left my comfort zone and went outside there and tried out something. So for me, the mistakes that I did, they come with experience. The mistakes that I did, they come with correction. The mistakes that I did come with exposure. So yeah, for me, my mistakes are not equal to my failures, and that's another thing I'm actually unlearning. To conclude this video, I don't want to talk like I have everything figured. I don't know why I repeat that statement, but the thing is that I also don't have everything figured out. I am a work in progress. I give views and my opinions basing on what's actually happening in my life. And I know it might be happening in my life here, but it's also happening in someone else's life, probably. Or not even that. Or someone can need this information with time and all that. So still, I want to say, for anyone navigating their 20s, go easy on yourself. Go easy on yourself. Going easy on yourself doesn't mean that you give up. You don't give up. You still keep pushing yourself to become the better version of yourself. And yeah, if you ever need a friend to hang around with, I'll always be here on my YouTube channel to share growth journeys, navigating the 20s and all that. So as we are concluding, guys, what are you unlearning in your 20s? Which belief are you unlearning? Which myth are you unlearning that they told you and now it's time to unlearn it? Chill the learning. No, I'm not asking about the things you're learning, but let us know the things you're unlearning, that you're leaving behind in your 20s. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, liking, sharing, and see you on the next vlog. A video is always out every Wednesday. Bye.